Hi, welcome to ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Hital.
I'm Anuja, and today we're going to show you how to make Karela and onion subzi.
Now, Karela, if you've never had it, it's this yummy flavor, but it also has a prominently bitter flavor. So some people like it, some people don't. We both happen to love it. So we're using Chinese Karela, about a little over 2 pounds, 1 kg of Karela, and we've got it chopped up similar to this, just half moons.
Karela is also known as Bitter Gourd in English. And here's what the Chinese one looks like. It's a little different, actually quite a bit different from the Indian one. The Indian one is got more spiky stuff. This is a little smoother, and this happens to be less bitter than the Indian one.
Right.
But of course, that's not a rule, but usually. So we prefer to use this because you don't have to go through the whole taking out the bitterness or reducing the bitterness in the Karela. We're just going to use as is. Here you go. Let's just show you, and we'll just chop it off. We'll chop off the edges. Of course, we washed it. So very similar again, but it's a lot thicker. And we're just going to. Oh, can you hear the seeds? There you go.
That's one thing you can't predict is how the insides will be. So,
yeah, look at that. The seeds are very prominent. They're big. They're not tender. So we are going to remove them. So you can either take a spoon like this and turn it upside down and just scrape it off, or if sometimes like this one, when they're so thick, it's not easy. You just take a knife and just kind of, cut it out like that.
So one of the things Anuja was mentioning earlier is the process of removing the bitterness from the Karela. And if you don't prefer it very bitter, on this Chinese version or the Indian version, what you're going to do is once you have it all chopped up like this, you're going to sprinkle salt all over this, generous amount of salt, and just kind of toss it and leave it to the side for about 15 minutes. And what that's going to do is the salt is going to pull out all the moisture and all the bitterness from the Karela, and you just basically drain off the salt and use it. And even that salty water, it has a lot of flavor in it. So a lot of people, what they do is they knead their chapati dough or something like that. So you get a nice Karela flavored chapati or roti.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a good way to use it.
And Karela is so healthy. It purifies the blood. Good for people with diabetes. It's been all cleaned. Now we're just going to slice them. Now if you want to hide them from your kids and you don't want them to know about it, you can cut it even smaller.
So this is a Karela with onion subzi. So our other big ingredient here, onions.
Yes, please keep it covered.
I know, yes, let's do that. So basically we have about, we used 4 small, so that'll translate into maybe 2 medium or 1 large. Like if you have a really large onion, just slice it up and that's what you'll need.
So in a pan on medium heat, we've got 2 tablespoons of oil heating up. To that we're going to add 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds. Allow them to cook for about 30 seconds. And then add half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Mix it in the oil. And immediately after that, you can add in the onions. When you're adding in the onions, try to open them up a little bit so that there's more even cooking and it cooks faster. Give it a mix. Into this, we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt. We're going to mix it again. We're going to allow them to turn brown.
Now this is going to take a little bit of time, so have patience. You don't want the onions to burn, but continually stirring them helps evenly caramelize them.
So it's been about 10 to 12 minutes, and this looks fantastic. It's cooked, but not just on the outside. It's cooked all the way through. And we're now going to add in the Karela or the bitter gourd. We're going to add a little more salt for the Karela. But again, be careful not to salt too much because the Karela is going to reduce.
And once it's mixed, we're going to cover it and let it cook until the Karela cook down a little bit. And be sure you keep stirring it in between.
So it's been another 10 to 15 minutes. And we have been stirring it in between just to make sure it doesn't burn. It's starting to look very good. To this we're going to add some fennel seed powder. So we've just taken some fennel seeds and just powdered it. And 1 tablespoon of soft powder or fennel powder. And also we're going to add 2 tablespoons of lime or lemon juice. This will again help reduce the bitterness and give it a little tart effect, which is really good. And approximately 1 tablespoon of sugar or to taste. You're also going to check your salt at this time and add in more if needed.
And we're going to let it cook for about another 5 minutes just so all the flavors mix in well. So our Karela Subzi is ready, and it cooked for about 5 minutes, and after we added all the flavors in there, we kept trying it, and because you never know how bitter your Karelas end up, you know how they are, you just never know, and you don't really taste them beforehand.
Surprise package.
Surprise, yes, exactly. So you will have to keep tweaking it to your taste. A little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, whatever you need, just keep tweaking it until you get it to your perfect balance.
Right. So I think bottom line is you want, of course, the bitterness. It is Karela. The bitterness is going to be there. There's nothing you can do about that. But you want a little hint of that, lemon or lime flavor. You want a little sweetness, and of course the soft or the fennel seeds. You want to be able to taste them and smell them. So I think once you have everything in order, beautiful dish. So you got to try this.
And of course, the sugar doesn't make it sweet. It's just a little for balancing.
I really enjoy it.
Perfect balance. And it is bitter.
Yep.
Not to fool anybody, it is bitter. But it's an enjoyable bitter.
Right. Like we say, not every recipe is for everybody, and like we say, not Karela is for everybody. So, but this is really good. We enjoy it, and I'm sure there's lots of people out there who really enjoy it. So, here's a different twist to it. So, enjoy this Karela and onion sabzi, and join us again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice or bitterness to your life.
Good one.